Hi, all. Dick Weir, roadtoruta.com, and my good friend Dick Allgire from Hawaii. It's very early in the morning. He still looks beautiful as usual. Dick, how are you, my friend?
I'm good. I still have this little thing on my nose.
Yeah, other side.
Oh, where is it? Oh, it's
You got it
yeah.
right there.
Oh man, little sun damage, and they cut it off, and I've got to, yeah, it'll be okay. But I colored my mustache just for you last night. I was like, hey, I'm gonna be on Road to Ruta. I better put some just for men. So I touched up my mustache, and I'm looking.
Oh, but yesterday I was on with John Kim, Bitcoin Ben, and Jay Snip, and they're talking about how old I am. It's so strange to be like the oldest one in a crowd with these crypto kids.
Yeah. Well, you're young to me. You're about 10 years younger than me. So
yeah, but they're all way younger than me. So
we'll see if they can keep up with us in Las Vegas.
Don't challenge Ben. Don't challenge Ben to a drinking contest. I've been there. It's not a pretty sight.
No, but we're going to play some music and have some fun. We're talking about Bix's party before the Litecoin conference, and that is the 27th. Yours is the 27th. It's the 28th and 29th.
Correct. October 27th. We got, I think there's like 20 tickets left. If you want to go, send me an email, bix@roadtoruta.com. We're not associated with the conference per se. But yeah, it's going to be an amazing time. Lots of crypto influencers there. Dick Allgire will be bringing his guitar. Jay Snip4, I hear, has gotten some real drums that he will be setting up. So we are just going to jam session. We're going to talk cryptos. We're going to talk freedom, and we're going to have a blast.
Well, for those of you that haven't been there, I went to last year's, and I was pretty new. I was about not quite a year into cryptos at that time. And so for a lot of us, friends and family may not understand this. And you watch Bix on Road to Ruta, or you watch me, and you interact by email, and you maybe know a few people into cryptos. But to walk into a room and we're all there in strength and in numbers is really fun. And there are so many great conversations. I remember at your party last year, that was kind of a problem because you were up performing and talking, but people would, oh, you're Dick Allgire, and then there'd be conversations going on.
But that problem has been kind of alleviated this year. I have this gigantic room at the Cosmopolitan that they have. It's basically two rooms. One room, they call it an air wall. It's a separation where we're going to do all the speeches and play music and all that. And then there's another area that, you can meet and greet, and the bar's out there. So I remember that being a problem last time. We only had about 120 people. This time there's going to be 350 at least.
Wow. Oh, it's going to be so much fun. For those of you that are thinking about going, it's a hoot. It's a good party.
It is, absolutely.
I can't wait to, hey, we'll play some good songs. We're going to do a rousing Litecoin song.
Oh, yeah, and I'm writing 2 new songs for the show.
I'm hoping I'll send that recording of, I want to do the version of Get in the Groove and Let the Good Times Roll, and have you write one verse, and get in the groove and let the Litecoin roll. We're gonna stay here till we soothe our soul. It takes all night long. So we'll play that one together.
It sounds awesome. I mean, it's just so much. We've hung out quite a few times, and in Hawaii, at the Litecoin Summit in Lafayette with everybody's house, playing guitar, and every time I see you, it's a great time. We have our differences when it comes to not really the future of cryptos. We're kind of on the same path there, but the future of, will the same people be controlling our lives? And that's what I wanted to talk about, because you had asked in your video that you posted yesterday. I guess you went to school on the DTCC and learned all about that, but you did say, and I quote, I was going to do a video, but it's much more better if we do it live. You can answer. And this is at minute 157, because I always know when you're trying to give me a little jab. You said, do you know in today's world who is the custodian of every financial contract? This is a question I would ask to those who talk vaguely about how cryptos are going to bring freedom or bring us our freedom.
So the question would be, how are you going to overthrow this system? This system is so entrenched. I mean, if you don't know who it is and who runs it.
Well, yeah, exactly. And I think what I want to do first is, I mean, who are you really speaking to when you say those who talk vaguely about how cryptos are going to bring us our freedom?
Well, there are a number of people on YouTube that say,
right.
Okay, freedom. Yeah, we're going to declare our freedom. We're just going to tell the truth here and we'll be free. Cryptos are going to make us free. But my question is, what's the method of that? What's the actual process?
Yeah.
You're going to go arrest someone? Are you going to usurp the power? Are you going to dethrone somebody?
Well, let me get in the mind of Dick Allgire real quick. And I mean, from what I can tell, you believe that there's the real world people, and then there's the dreamers in cryptos. There's the real world, or in general, the real world, they know what's going on. Your friend Michael is a real world guy.
Well, there's a difference, first of all, between belief and knowledge. So if somebody says they believe, they're saying that they don't know.
Right.
Belief is not knowing. So I don't really believe anything. I know a few things. But,
okay.
Yeah.
So, right. but that's kind of the gist of what, when you say those people who think that cryptos are going to bring us freedom, there's the crypto freedom people. Yeah. And then there's the kind of bankster slavery. They're still going to be in control, even if it is crypto crowd. And I mean, it's not a crowd for you. That's the reality. That's what you're saying. That's the reality. And who are we to change that reality?
Well, but I think you're oversimplifying it by saying it's the bankster slavery crowd.
Well, that's not oversimplifying. They control the world. Absolutely. I'm 100% control, and they have for, thousands of years.
Well, that's a lack of knowledge on your part. So that's okay. But if you want to believe that, that's good.
I thought that's what you were saying.
No, I'm not saying that the bankers.
Are you saying it's the Rothschilds, the Queen of England? Okay, let's call them the Illuminati, the Queen of England, the Vatican, the Illuminati, the Nephilim, whoever you want to say. You think someone has controlled us for thousands of years?
Yeah, the world has been controlled from the very beginning.
I agree. And we both agree on that. What we disagree on is that I do believe that cryptos can lead us to a more freedom-oriented world than we had in the past. And when you say to those in cryptos, let me lump us together. There's myself. There's Bitcoin Ben. There's John Kim. There's Charlie Lee, Andreas Antonopoulos, Trace Mayer, Roger Ver, Berwick, Vitalik Buterin, Max Kaiser. Satoshi himself is one of those people who said he was a big believer in freedom, decentralized currencies.
But what was Satoshi?
Absolutely. Have you read his writings?
Yeah. Didn't we determine that Satoshi
Alan Greenspan
was a conglomerate of people? It was
exactly. Yeah. But I mean, the writings of Satoshi in his emails, it's a really good read. They made a whole book out of it. He was all about libertarianism and freedom from in the first block, he was writing about the Bank of England's bailout. And that is still to this day embedded in the first Bitcoin block. So there's that crowd. There's the people who believe that cryptos can lead us to freedom. And then there's the people who believe that you cannot change things, which you're in that camp right now. Obviously, Michael's in that camp. And then you have guys like Jamie Dimon and the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers, the Queen of England, Vatican, that whole crowd who's had control for thousands of years. So those are the two camps in my book. And I don't mind being associated with the camp of the people who are actually creating something to solve this problem that you say can't be solved. I mean, Satoshi's Bitcoin, the conglomerate, whoever did it, has the power to decentralize everything just on the Bitcoin blockchain. I'm not talking about all the people.
Okay, but what is the problem? Define the problem.
Well, that was the problem, is what you said was, I would ask those who talk vaguely about how cryptos are going to bring us into our freedom. I believe that cryptos will lead us a hell of a lot closer to freedom than the 2,000 years of control we've been under. I don't think that the bad guys are going to continue to control us in the way they have. There will always be good and bad. There will always be those who control the amount, the level of freedom we have in any society is going to go up, down, and sideways. And I think the people in my camp, the freedom camp, are pushing more towards a freedom-oriented future.
Well, the control is going to change because the technology is changing. The technology is going to change the control mechanism through blockchain. If you think blockchain is going to make you freer, that's a good thing to believe. Go for it. But
but it's also a fight. I know that what I do helps. What Charlie Lee does helps. What Roger Ver does, Andreas Antonopoulos, Max Kaiser, Greenspan, all those guys, what they're doing helps push us closer to freedom and hurts those past controllers. They would love to have their system fully centralized and control everything. Like Michael is telling you, like the lessons you're learning now about the DTCC. This is nothing new to many of us. I've been fighting the DTC for 20 years, and there's with limited success, I would say. We got Reg Show implemented after the 2001 crash. That was all about the naked short selling, what you were talking about in your video. Except you call them something different. It's the same thing. It's naked short selling, creating shares out of thin air and
derivatives.
Yeah.
Derivatives of derivatives.
Had we not fought that fight, Reg Show would never have happened. It would have, the bankers would have continued on their merry path. You could say, well, they still are BICs, not as much as they were in the 2001 crash. In 2001, they had free reign. Now at least we have some constraint. And I don't believe, and if I'm wrong about this, I don't believe that the DTCC creates shares called, what do you call them, street stocks.
Street stocks, yeah.
That what they do,
they hold the real stocks.
Well, they claimed in lawsuits that they had nothing to do with that because they can't, because they are subject to all the laws. Just because they're a self-regulated organization doesn't mean they're not subject to laws. They are absolutely 100% subject to the laws. And the number one law would be the SEC saying you cannot create a security and sell securities. I mean, we're running into that with cryptos.
Well, here's where there are laws, contracts, regulation, bonds, things that are above what we know. The real law is not the law that we think we see.
Then why did the DTCC in back in 2002, 2003, when all the lawsuits were flying, why did they say, hey, we do not issue securities, which that would be. What we do is we hold the title. Well, they don't even hold it. They hold it in seed and company, but they record the title. And yes, you're right. I mean, the whole thing was right, what you said about the DTCC, except when it came to them issuing stocks. That, as far as I knew, because we were suing the DTCC, and they claim, no, we don't issue stocks. It is at the broker-dealer level that after they take the company, they take the share, which is in they call it street name is the official title. The street name, they are the ones rehypothecating everything. They're the ones with failure to deliver 300 million per day. They're the ones that are selling things that they don't have. The DTCC, at least they claim that because we could sue them if you have any proof at all that they're creating shares and selling them. Those are securities under securities law. We could sue them for that. We can win that one. Their claim was, we don't create the shares. Our job is just to record the shares and be the settlement place.
Okay, so you believe, I mean, good luck suing them.
Well, it was already done back in 2002, 2003, and the judge threw it out because of their claim that they don't do it. They don't create the shares. What is done, which is much easier, is give all the brokerage houses the leeway because nothing's settled. They got the T+3 settlement. Nothing's settled. They can sell as much as they want. It's just like the crypto exchanges. They don't have the shares the coins that they say they have.
1.6 quadrillion is the number I thought I saw for the DTCC.
Oh yeah.
1.6 quadrillion. So,
it is absolutely, and it's fraudulent. And if you look at like 55 Water Street, the flooding of 55 Water Street, the DTCC vault, the History Channel interviewed me on that one, and the take was that this guy Michael Dunn at the CFTC went over to the vault at 55 Water Street 2 months before and was put in charge of that after he left the CFTC. He brought over all the gold and silver swaps, the paper contracts, put it in the vault. It was a total of, I think, $36 trillion worth of paper contracts in that vault. Hurricane Sandy comes. He leaves the door wide open so it gets flooded.
Funniest thing, just flooded the whole thing.
It was amazing. Not only that, they pump all the water out and then they set it on fire. 28 people go to the hospital for the fire.
To make sure. Wonder. Here's the thing. Are these people with this much power and control for so long just going to give it up?
That's what the whole derivative, the reason, according to the Road to Ruth theory. Now, this is my stuff that I got from the Fed Boston. It's not, obviously I put my spin on it. For the Fed Boston documents, the reason Alan Greenspan was in charge of basically taking regulations off derivatives at the end of the 90s. He was fighting with all kinds of regulators and says, no, we cannot regulate derivatives, was to give these guys, the people you talk about, the ability to grow that derivative bubble so big. And like you said, there's quadrillions in there at the DTCC. Grow it so big that it turns into what Warren Buffett calls a weapon of mass financial destruction. That's where we are now. So if you're looking for how to take these guys out, boom. You're saying yourself, they own everything anyway. So if the derivative bomb goes off, what do we lose? Nothing. We don't even own the stocks that we hold. It's the seed and company, the holder of the DTCC stocks.
All debts get paid one way or the other. Debts get paid. So the debts are going to.
The best way is default. The best way is default. If you default on debts,
and whoever issued the debt pays it.
Does it get paid? If, for example, say Deutsche Bank goes down or any of the too big to fail banks go down. The reason they're too big to fail is, as Senator Kanjorski told us, they were hours away from the entire system shutting down.
Does the dollar have to fail for your scenario to play out?
The dollar plays a tiny role. It's those contracts at the DTCC, which many of them are dollar derivative contracts. All the foreign exchange contracts are held at the DTCC as well.
But does the dollar fail to take these people down? That's the question.
Well, if you have a too big to fail bank crashing, all fiat money is gone. The system stops. You won't even think about the dollar failing or how many quadrillions our debt is really. Again, it's a one-stop shop for taking out the banks. If you want to know how to take out the banks, let the derivative bubble blow bigger than anything anybody's ever seen, which it is right now, especially the bond derivatives, and then pop it. If Greenspan wanted to destroy the system, he did a damn good job of doing that.
Well, the system is changing. The system is going to digital cryptocurrency. and they're setting that up right now. They're putting all the building blocks are being put in place, and they're going to switch it over.
The current controllers of our old system, right?
Yeah,
I agree. I agree.
And when they and when it comes online, it's not designed for nation states anymore. They're yeah, I don't think you're going to see nation states.
Well, they can do what they want. Again, if the derivative bubble see that if they try to do this smooth transition, which they're trying to do, to keep control and keep their assets, what's going to happen to the derivative bubble? Is it just going to keep growing bigger and bigger, and they'll just keep bailing people out until when? You can't solve that problem without the total. Greenspan calls it a what's the name of it? Creative destruction event, where it is required to go forward. You got to destroy the whole system, which I think, I mean, anybody who looks at the debt globally can easily say it's unsustainable. But what happens on the day it is no longer sustained, right? I mean, you can't get rid of it by, cryptoing over it. The derivative bombs will still be there. Deutsche Bank will not solve their problem. JP Morgan just added $11 trillion to their derivative book in the first quarter. And that's all at the DTCC. You're absolutely right. That's where it's held. And I went back to the Road to Ruta stuff because I'd forgotten. It's been a long time since I dealt with that stuff. I had 80 articles on the Road to Ruta about the DTCC fraud and the fights that we had with them. Patrick Byrne did an amazing job at exposing what was going on with the shares that are being created out of nothing. But those shares weren't created at the DTCC. They were created at the broker-dealer level. And because mainly the DTCC got sued and they proved that it wasn't them, it was at the broker-dealer level because they deal in pools of shares, and they don't have the shares that they say they do. A great example of that is a lawsuit with Dole. Remember that company, Dole Company, with Dole Pineapple and all that?
Yeah, that was big here in Hawaii.
Yeah, it was huge.
There's a Dole cannery right down the street.
Yeah, really? So one of the Murdoch kids bought out the Dole, took Dole private. And so there's a big lawsuit. The shareholders said, no, hey, you sold it for too little. So it goes to court, and the judge agrees with them that they was sold it for too little money. So in the settlement of that lawsuit, it's like $100 million. There were 36 million shares outstanding. And so they said, okay, everybody turn in their positions and make your claims. They got to be valid claims from the broker-dealer community and all that. And they did, and they got 49 million claims, all legit claims against 30 million outstanding. It proves what you've been told about the DTCC, that they're supposed to keep track. But the real fraud is happening at the broker-dealer level, who's selling. Those are the guys selling the shares that they don't have. And that's how it gets funneled to the Queen of England and all that, the Vatican, and everybody take their split, plays the game. As long as the music keeps going, everything's fine. The liability of all that, I would say, lies at the ultimate holder, which is Seed and Company, which in the 70s, they did a congressional investigation and said, who the hell is Seed and Company? Because the DTCC holds all these contracts under the name Seed and Company, like ceding your ownership.
Yep.
So they did an investigation in the 70s because nobody knew who Seed and Company was. They found out who it was, and they wouldn't tell anybody. And it was a single owner. It was either the Vatican or the Queen of England or the Anunnaki or the Nephilim or one of those guys behind the scenes. But it's just interesting that nobody says anything about it. And that's what I have a problem with is we can fight and scream all we want, but it's a hell of a lot better than doing nothing and saying, oh, they're fine, go ahead. You can work your way into the crypto world. We don't care because we got our crypto profits. I don't buy that. I don't think we're going to have a good future with these people controlling our lives the way they have so far, which is with war and hunger and vaccinations and Monsanto and spraying us and all that bullshit.
Wait till you see the control they have when everything is on the blockchain and they're doing it in real time. I mean, in the past, they've kept track of us by, I mean, throughout history. You have a birth certificate, and then you have a county which does the counting. It counts what they have.
County.
You're issued a license, and you're issued, you know, you're in the system, and they keep track of what you're producing and where you're going and what you're doing through paper records and contracts. When this goes on the blockchain, it'll all be real time. It'll all be monitored in right now, real time through AI, through the blockchain. And
but there's my question. And yes, you're right. I think that's how they did it before, but they didn't tell us. They didn't inform the people about that. Do you think when we have blockchain, they're going to tell us, oh, by the way, for your own good, here's how we're going to track everything that's going on? Or are they going to do it in sly like they have in the past and not tell anybody that you ceded over your power to some unknown entity? See, if they don't tell us what's going on, then I got a big problem with that. And I think everybody who finds out about it should stand up and fight it.
Well, Bix, what percentage of human beings can even have the conversation that you and I are having right now?
A lot more than could before the internet came out. I was talking about that this morning in my morning news. Back in our day, we had to go to the library to get anything. You want information, you read a paper or go to the library. It was long, and most of the time, if it was kind of stuff that wasn't mainstream, the library wouldn't even have that information. Now we have the internet. We're talking to tens of thousands of people right now, Dick. If between your subscribers and my subscribers, this is how the information gets out. And then they talk about it with their friends on YouTube and say, hey, oh my God, you should have seen these two morons talking about the DTCC the other day. And that's how information gets out.
And by the way, everybody should disagree in the way you and I
have absolutely.
Because, you know, I think probably if maybe you and I didn't meet each other and didn't talk face to face and did this by email or on a posting, it might devolve into, well, you idiot, you know, but
I say that all the time anyway about you, Dick.
Yeah, but we're good friends, and we're gonna play music, and it's an interesting discussion, and we're in interesting times because something is going to change. These cryptos are going to come online, and it is going to change the world one way or the other. And for those who are feeling sideways, like, when is this run up going to happen? I've been waiting for, so, you know, what's Bitcoin? 10,300 today. Is like
all the new FUD coming out about Bitcoin's controlled by the Federal Reserve and all that.
Oh God, you know, and Litecoin is, what is it? I haven't even looked in a while, 70 or something. Don't even worry about it. It is going to be the new system. Just use this opportunity to get some more. And I don't give financial advice. Don't listen to me. But I'm buying more. I just bought some Bitcoin the other day. I
can tell you from experience that, you know, the bottoms after it crashes. I remember a $200 Bitcoin. Everybody was saying the same thing, and unless of this infrastructure was built out, things were 50 times worse when it was $200 Bitcoin. And then all of a sudden it moves, and everybody's like, oh, I mean, damn, I should have bought more when I was thinking it was going to crash, and blah, blah, blah. And you get the emotion that goes with it. And a lot of the traders and market riggers will feed off that emotion and push and pull. And like you said, with the DTCC, the rehypothecation is off the charts every day and a half. All the Litecoin that's ever been mined trades hands supposedly on these exchanges.
Yeah, right.
It's ridiculous. Yeah. But I would say to everybody, when Dick and I go through these conversations, we're learning from each other, and it is so important that people disagree in the crypto community. But at the same time, I mean, I look at all the guys I follow and all the guys I'm friends with. I don't agree with everything they say. They don't agree with everything I say. We don't agree with a lot of things we say. But as we have our discussions, as we talk about our point, how we came to that point, explain how our thought process works, people learn and people move on. I used to think gold and silver were the only forms of money that ever could be. And I even said that after Bitcoin was out there. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. And, you know, that cost me a hell of a lot of money. I could have got Bitcoin at like $5.
I remember when I woke up about gold and silver, oh God, 20 years ago, more. Well, around Y2K, I bought a little, and then realized what fiat money was and got educated on that. And I was gold and silver, like, okay, stash as much away in gold. And when I saw the social programming starting to push young people towards a cashless society, I'll never do that. Oh, that's terrible. That's going to take your freedom away. And I was very much against that in the.
But it was also at that time it was a centralized cashless society.
Yeah, and when the 24-hour fitness center said just sign in with your thumbprint, you know, I still don't do that. I still make them sign me in, but I would have said 8 years ago, cashless is, I'll never, you know, I'll never give up cash. Then I learned about Bitcoin, Litecoin, and so yeah, I'm on board. But the way I got into this, Bix, was through remote viewing, because I did some remote viewing work that was published, and somebody got a hold of me and said, "Hey, that remote viewing you did was real. We know people who've seen the place you drew." And it was,
that was the Hitler one, right?
The Hitler one. So they say, yeah, we know people that have been to the cemetery. You were, good job, kid. We need to talk to you. So
I didn't know they got you into cryptos.
What they said was, you have stuck your head in a door, like you're in a realm where you don't know what you're dealing with here. You, to keep yourself safe, like, we value your ability. So you need to know some things. Here's how the world works. The history you were told is not true. Humanity is not told their real history. Science is not told. There are certain pillars of the way the world works, and there are gatekeepers, and real knowledge is kept hidden from people. It's just, it's too valuable. So there are secret schools where only some people get to know the real story. And I was being told about that. And one of the things I was told was that they're switching the financial system. They're rolling out a new financial system. It's going to be digital currency. You need to get cryptocurrency to save yourself. I was told, get one Bitcoin for your wife, one for you, and then buy one to play with, so you can get other Litecoin, some Ethereum, and other things. And I was told that as part of my being brought online to what I was playing with remote viewing. It was like, don't play with this. Be careful with it. We'll keep you safe. And I was given some test targets that I did to kind of validate. And it was some real interesting targets, something I'll never publish. But knowledge is a privilege and a burden. So it's both a privilege and a burden. I would say that. But yeah, that's how I came on to cryptos, because I was told, here's the way the world works, and the way the world is going to work from now on is cryptocurrencies.
Wow,
so that's why
that's a pretty damn good tip back then.
All of us are at a place that is, I said this in my video the other day, it's not just a once in a lifetime opportunity. This is a once in a historical opportunity as this system changes. And we can disagree about the function of how it's going to happen and what the result's going to be, but it is going to come online. And it is a chance for us to get amazing wealth.
We are. I mean, anybody worried that they missed the Bitcoin?
Still early.
Oh my God, it's ridiculously early. I mean, walk down your street and go door to door and ask how many people have Bitcoin or Litecoin or even know what it is, and you'll be amazed at how few people know what it is. You know, bubbles don't happen like that. Bubbles happen when you jump in a taxi and your next door neighbor say, "Hey, I got this new cryptocurrency." Those are financial bubbles. But this is something different, because it is the actual money that is changing. and the way we do business that is changing, and the way that information is passed between people, and how things are recorded. I mean, literally, you can take our whole economic system and say it is changing to something decentralized and provable via mathematics, which is something so big to me now, is all these proof of stake chains. I'm like, no. When people lose trust in the old system, I know so many people who came from the gold into the cryptos who had such a hard time getting their hands around Bitcoin, much less all the altcoins. They're just a Bitcoin maximalist because it was so hard just to get the Bitcoin. The rest of the world, it's going to be like that too. Just the main cryptos are going to be the ones that they can handle at first. But then later on, as these cryptos prove themselves and they see the use case for a lot of this stuff, when the use case is necessary, that's when cryptos are really going to blow.
Well, all transactions, everything, think of the economy of the planet Earth, and all transactions are going to be on a blockchain using some type of cryptocurrency. So the one thing that astounds me at crypto viewing, here's a little inside look at how we work, is I'm kind of kept blind, and we're given a target every week. And so I don't know what it is. I sit down and I do my thing, and then I find out, oh, this is Electronium, this is Pundi X, this is HDAC. I've never heard of these. And it's almost like overwhelming, like, I don't want to learn about a new token or crypto. And then the reason we're looking at it is because the people behind it are so well connected, and go back to power centers of like the Swiss banking system, old German banking money, or just all the intricate workings of who has the power structure. And I guess the point I'm making is there are a lot of different coins and tokens. It's not just going to be one or two. If you're looking at the monetary system, the commerce, the whole business of the entire world, there's going to be a lot of different tokens.
Yeah. Well, you can think about, how many forms of money it takes right now for the world to go. There's fiat money, there's the national currencies. You could say that derivatives are a form of money. Stocks and bonds are forms of money. Certificates. What'd you say? No one heard you.
Birth certificates.
Birth certificates. Hey, you can have seashells as a form of money. All of these have been money over time. Right now, there are so many different forms of value and money that, a crypto for each one would mean thousands and thousands of different cryptos at a minimum.
Yeah. Yep. So much to learn. Much to learn.
It's the journey, my friend.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's the journey that makes the most, you learn the most from. The end result is not that. Usually you're like kind of depressed when you get to the end of the road, and then you find a new journey.
Yeah. How's your new guitar? Sounds really good. You like that?
Ridiculous. I'm trying to sleep with it, but Amy won't allow it in the bed.
Amy looks great, by the way. She's doing a really good thing with that health cleanse.
Oh, absolutely. And Ben just finished it. I think he lost 18 pounds and said he feels great, although he went right back to chicken wings and beer, I think at midnight that night.
Well, good for him. Good for him for doing that. But she looks even more radiant since she's been doing that.
Yeah,
I look forward to seeing her in Vegas.
Yeah, how's Mimi's wrist?
Oh, she is okay. I'll tell you a funny story, and I'm going to use the F word. So, I'll try not to. I worked in a newsroom for many years, and news people swear like sailors. I mean, effing is, God damn it, because we're always under pressure. So if my computer is not doing something right or something's going wrong, I swear at things. And my wife gets really mad at me. She goes, "Do you have to use the F word in front of me? I can hear you in the other room. You F this, F that." Oh, sorry. And so she is very offended and doesn't like that. and she has this cast on, and it really bothers her. So I draw her little cartoons when she goes to sleep at night. I'm still up. I'll draw a little gecko, and I'll make a little caption for it. And I drew one. I said, "Oh, you're halfway through your cast," and I drew a picture of the gecko with a cast on, and then I labeled it "this effing thing," like this fucking thing. And she
on her cast.
No, on the picture on the I just made a piece of paper that I left out, so I labeled it "this fucking thing," and she thought that was really funny. She finally accepted, because it's very hard on her. She's very active. She can't do her yoga, so she'll be all right.
She can't punch you with the same strength and velocity.
No, and I need a good slap.
Absolutely. Well, Dick, we've been going for almost an hour. Wow. Awesome as usual. Let's keep up the conversations, and if you ever want to talk about anything or poke fun at me, you know where to get me, and we'll just do this. And
I'm so looking forward to Vegas. It'll be good to see you again. And for those of you coming for the first time, it's a hoot. It's so fun to stand around and talk. It's just like this, only you're in person, and there's beer.
Yeah, exactly. And there's so many people. I've got so many more new subscribers now that need to be introduced to crypto viewing, and you guys will all be there. I'm real excited about that.
Oh, we're going to have a private meetup for our crypto viewing Patreon people. So if you're coming to Las Vegas to Bix's event and to the conference, let us know, because we're going to find a facility, a little side room. We're going to have a private briefing. You can come to that one, Bix. We'll have a little, well,
awesome.
Yeah, that'll be fun. And the music is going to be great. I can't wait. I'm bringing a guitar, and if we have drums, that'll be.
It's going to be silly.
We've got a, real quick, then we'll go. One of our editors at Crypto Viewing, a guy named Roger Mason, is a really, really good drummer. I wrote a song, and he laid down a track, and then he knows all these Nashville musicians, like Chris Anderson from the Outlaws. Like,
they sent me emails, yeah.
Really good session players, and he had them play my song. We're going to have that coming out pretty soon, but he's coming. He's going to sing vocals. I'll do one song with him at least.
Cool.
He's a really good singer. It's going to be a really good party this year.
Yes, I agree. So make sure you guys go. And Dick, thank you. Have fun out there in Hawaii. By the way, I wore this Hawaiian shirt for you.
Oh, yeah, that's a nice shirt.
I got it I think in the 1970s at a luau. So if anybody wants to chip in, get Dick's Weir a new Hawaiian shirt that's more up to like this time frame. This thing is so old.
The classics like that are actually valuable. Those are good. The older the better.
It's been so long since I wore it. It turned valuable on me. I love that.
And I wore the Litecoin shirt, so we're right in there. Oh, I'm going to go to my yoga class now.
All right.
Okay. Always good to talk with you, Vic. See you in Vegas, and
we'll talk before that.
Hold your cryptos.
Absolutely. Talk to you later.
Bye.